Oh God. Okay. I gotta talk to this guy first, though. Okay. Hold on.
Oh, I can continue my sub to you for $1. I'm gonna
Oh
do
shit.
that. I'm gonna give you $1.
Congrats on appearing in a published academic study. Oh, I saw it. I'm an alt writer. Yeah, feels good, man. Fuck the follies
Hello?
of data science without other analysis. Hey, what's up? I'm here finally.
Hey, yeah, it only took what, six
Yeah,
days?
thought it would never happen, but 6 days. That's pretty good response time for me actually. So, but
I talked in your online chats like 3 or 4 times, and everyone said it was never gonna happen. So
well,
you
here
know,
you are. You beat the odds. So
yeah. So thank you for having me on.
yeah.
I am a college student, and I am interviewing you for a an essay in my English class.
Okay.
So
Are you like
you
an
did
English
look over the
major, or is
questions.
this like?
No, I'm actually a computer science major, but I take writing like very, very seriously. It's something I would absolutely love to pursue as like a sort of, like side thing.
Okay.
I'm sitting at 105% in class right now. That's how try hard I'm being. So
Wow.
yeah. So that's why I was shooting for the stars with this, is because like I feel like everyone in my class is going to be like interviewing like, oh, this is my dad, this is what he does, and stuff like that.
You
No,
have world famous alt-right
Yes.
YouTube influencer. Yeah. All right. Well, here you are.
Do you know how close I came to writing about Mr. Mooten instead?
Oof, fine. I thought you wanted to keep that 105%. That's not the way to do it.
So as I said in my like little write-up that I sent you, I know most of the answers to like
The
wait, what's
six
that?
pages of questions.
It
That's a
wasn't
little-
6 pages.
Okay.
It was 5. But yeah, so I know a lot of the questions to like some of the simple stuff, but this is mostly me like being thorough, and I want to give you a fresh take on it. So like for example, can you tell us how you got the name Destiny? I saw a video the other day that I don't think you could even play on Twitch. It was pretty bad.
Wait, what? Did I?
Yeah.
I thought my answer to this is pretty tame. It was just like a random word that I picked when I was like a kid. I thought it sounded cool.
Well,
Destiny.
you talked about how you used to be Neo Wingstar.
Whoa.
and,
So the first name that I ever had online was Wing Neo Star 15. So Wing because I like Gundam Wing, Neo because it sounded like a cool word, and then Star because I really liked astronomy, and then 15 because that was the age of all the Gundam pilots in Gundam Wing. That was my first online name. And then when I started to go online and like Battle.net and shit, I needed a smaller name. And I think I don't even know how. I just chose Destiny or Neo Destiny if Destiny wasn't available.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it just sounded like a cool word.
So, can you give us a sort of like a condensed, where you were born, who you are, what you wanted to be when you grew up as a child, that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, I was born in Omaha, the great state of Nebraska, the great city of Omaha, I think. And
You think?
Yeah, well, maybe I was born in like a suburb or something, I don't remember. But like, yeah.
Right.
But anyway, basically, yeah, I was born around here. I do that shit. I went to school around here, Catholic school for 12 years. In terms of what I wanted to be when I grew up, I wanted to be all sorts of stuff. I had huge interest in pretty much everything scientific I was very interested in. So I had like a huge interest in like biology from video games. I had a huge interest in astronomy from video games. Computer related stuff was stuff that I was very interested in, well, obviously, because I did a lot of that growing up. So yeah, I mean, I had a ton of different interests. I don't know exactly what I wanted to be. I'm sure if you would have asked me every 6 months, my answer would have changed. But
Oh yeah, I was the same way. I totally get that. So we all know that you wound up going to college for music. When did that sort of interest first blossom?
when I went to high school, for some random reason, oh, no, it wasn't for a random reason. I watched Cowboy Bebop growing up, and there were songs that I really liked in Cowboy Bebop, and I was like, oh, it would be cool to like play music, I guess. And I started really late, I guess, compared to the other kids. But once I hit my freshman year in high school, I was like, hey, like I should talk to the band teacher and like pick an instrument. I could play an instrument. And then we went through and I played some. He's like, oh yeah, you can play saxophone. I was like, oh cool, the Cowboy Bebop songs have saxophone. It's like, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so I started.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Well, no, that's just how I got into music in high school, I guess. So I started playing music in high school, and then music evolved as a way that I can kind of like emotionally express myself, which is something I have a hard time doing otherwise. So I just started. Once I got out of high school, I wanted to pursue it in college because it was like one of my big passions.
Right. Okay. So you are Stephen Bonnell II, correct? And
is correct.
Yeah, that means that you're not a junior. So have you ever spoken about who you're named after?
My dad.
Really? Right. Why are you a second then and not a junior?
He didn't want to be referred to as Stephen Bonnell Sr.
Oh, got it. Okay, so it's that simple?
Yep. I think he thought it made him sound old or something, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Um, so you've also spoken about working at a casino and things like that. Did you have any jobs other than that, or was that your first job? And right after that, it was into streaming.
My first job was working at a McDonald's,
Mhm.
and then I started to move up in positions at McDonald's to a fuck. What do they call them? Does anybody work at I think they were called team leads. So I was like trying to get to a position where I could be a like eventually like a shift leader, and then a supervisor. I think was the next step. I think maybe it went team lead to supervisor or something. But while I was working at McDonald's, I had a really bad experience with a customer, but I'm like a super chill dude, and I handled it in a super chill way because I'm like, it's very, very hard to get me upset, I guess, unless I'm playing League of Legends or debating people.
Right.
Like in the real world, in real life, it's very hard to get me upset. I'm an incredibly patient person. I'm so fucking patient. You have no idea. If you see me talk to certain people, like people should have this understanding that I'm a pretty patient person. But anyway, after dealing with this customer, the next person in line happened to be a supervisor at that casino, and she was like, hey, like you were really chill. Like you should, come work, and I'll give you a good recommendation. I was like, oh, well, that's pretty sick. So sure. And then I applied for the casino, and then she gave me a recommendation, and then I started working there for the next, I think, 3 or 4 years. And then after I was done at that job, I got a job cleaning carpets because that was what was next for me, I guess. Yeah. And then I did that for about a year, and then I got into streaming.
Mhm. So, as you spoke to a little bit, you tend to portray yourself as like, pretty combative and abrasive on stream. Is there a reason why you chose that sort of persona, or did it just kind of come naturally to you?
I've always been like a very, I don't know if these are like real things in psychology, but like, is it type A personality? Like, yeah. Does that mean anything to you when I say that or no?
Oh yeah.
I've always had like a pretty aggressive personality. I think I don't know why. It's just kind of always the way from an early age that I've been. Yeah.
So okay. I did a tiny bit of research, not super duper deep, but I'll go into some of those questions. So you actually spoke about this just recently, and this was something I remembered and wanted to ask you about. You said at a pretty interesting point as a streamer, where others saw, sort of like explosive and instant growth, your growth has been pretty steady over time. More interesting than that, though, to me, is despite having, like 1/4 the audience in some cases of some of the more popular streamers, you tend to make as much, if not more than some of them. Why do you think that is?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that. I would say that my fan base is like very loyal to me. Like they watch me pretty much no matter what I do. I think a lot of people kind of personally identify with me for a lot of different reasons. So I mean, obviously, if assuming all of what I just said is true, your conversion is going to be higher on different types of like monetizable products, right? Whether it's subscriptions, merchandise, stuff like that.
Right. So you went to a private religious school. How deep have you talked about that on stream?
I mean, I've mentioned it a few times. I'm not sure if there's other parts of the experience that I like haven't talked about. I think I've spoken about most things, but what about it?
Because it was something that when I like looked up, like I couldn't find very much information about it. So you consider yourself an atheist, correct?
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen you like kind of throw around being a agnostic, but yeah, you definitely.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I guess I would technically be an agnostic. Yeah. I guess if somebody were to provide me like evidence of the existence of God, obviously I would be compelled to listen to it. So sure, right. I can be an agnostic. Sure.
So was this a discovery that happened like while you were at that school, or was it just something that's happened over time?
I wouldn't say so much it's a discovery, so much as just kind of like personal growth. Like anybody, I think that's kind of honest with themselves will. What? Oh shit. Hold on, I'll set it up. But I feel like anybody that that's kind of mean to say, but anybody that does enough like personal growth will eventually abandon at the very least organized religion. But
right.
Yeah, it's kind of mean to say, but yeah.
I mean, I think I'd probably agree with you. So I get where you're coming from.
Okay.
So Kyle, he's one of your longtime friends. Did you meet him at this school, or was it before that?
No, we met at we met in grade school, but yeah.
And he introduced you to StarCraft, correct?
Kyle and Frank did, yeah.
Yeah. So how was your relationship with them like growing up? Were they like your best buddies, or were they just kind of like around and got you into things?
At school, Kyle was probably my closest friend, I think. And then outside of school, Chris was my closest friend. He lived behind me for a few years. So in terms of getting me into things, I mean, Kyle and Frank were the ones that originally got me to StarCraft, and then I kind of like took over my interest from there. I don't think other people introduced me into stuff as much. I kind of like I kind of like did my own thing on the internet, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you've mentioned doing debate when you were in school. Is that correct?
No.
No. So
well, let me qualify.
Yeah.
I debated people, but I never did like formal debate. But
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was unclear to me, yeah,
Sure,
because
okay.
I saw you mentioning that you did it, but I wasn't sure if like you were on like the debate team or whatever, you know.
No.
And in recent times, you've brought up wanting to be more persuasive. Do you think that because of your time at private school, or at because of your time debating people at school, that's what led to you focusing on logic rather than emotion, or was it sort of like, or is this more of a response to like modern debates?
I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm sorry. One second. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys remember? Does anybody in chat remember True Malma? Anybody remember her? Patty? Okay, and then we'll talk about that after. Actually, let me just finish this because I feel really rude. I'm like, oh shit, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, what happened? Don't worry. Oh, she started messaging my mom too. Yeah. Oh shit. Never mind. Okay.
Really?
Hold on, we'll talk about this after.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Some really crazy, weird fucking coincidence just happened. It was really bizarro. Okay, I'm sorry,
right.
but I'm here 100% now. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, look, I'm used to you letting me down.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Oh, damn, don't worry. I won't that much more here. Okay, go for it. I'm here 100% now, okay? Go.
Okay.
What was the last question you just asked me?
Yeah, so I asked you about doing debate back at school, and you said you did, but not like as part of like a debate team or anything.
Yep.
And then I asked, do you think it's because of your time like expressing like your interest in debate at private school that caused you to develop your focus on logic rather than emotion?
Maybe. So this was kind of like the path that happened to me in high school. I don't have like an interest per se in like debate. It's not like oh, like I want to be like a debater or whatever. Or like, oh, I really like the art style that is the debate, like the blah blah blah, right? It's more just like in school, I started to become an atheist as I kind of became a-religious, right? As I lost my Christianity, I kind of became religious. And one way that I kind of, because I had kind of like, I hate using type A. I feel like I'm like using like meme psych or whatever here. But like because I had like such an aggressive kind of personality, I kind of had this feeling that in order for me to like really know which ideas are the best, I just want to like fucking debate them. Like I want to, my goal is like, I should be able to go to a person and I should be able to like talk to that person. And if we're somewhat reasonable, we should come to an agreement on things. And that I want to talk to as many people as possible. And then if nobody can like put up a good argument against what I'm saying, then I must be right. So it's kind of like, I just have this idea that like, I'm going to make sure that my ideas are correct by constantly disagreeing with everybody around me. And then if nobody's capable of like mounting what I consider to be an effective kind of like attack or defense against a certain idea I have, then that idea must be true. So that's kind of where like my debating or whatever, that kind of mentality is what produced this idea that like I want to have arguments with people all the time. Yeah. To basically as a way of verifying my own internal thoughts.
Yeah. So do you find yourself then opting to challenge your like positions more as opposed to like just playing devil's advocate with yourself?
I like challenging my positions with other people. Like my basically the way that I view it is like if I go to like a Kiwi Farms thread or a 4chan thread and everybody in there is just calling me like a pedophile or some shit, my arguments are all very, very, very public. Like if they had something good to say, they would be saying it in those threads. They'd be laughing at my misuse of data, but instead they don't. So I feel good about that. So yeah, like my idea, my way of like seeing if my ideas are good basically is I should be able to insert myself into a community of people that hate me. And once all of the arguments have devolved into ad homs or something, then I can be reasonably confident that you know, I'm obviously my shit is good because nobody has anything of substance to say to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you kind of got to the point where you think that people resort to those sorts of attacks because they just can't attack your actual argument itself, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, okay. That's interesting to me because I thought for sure like debate was something you explored like all throughout your schooling. So it's interesting to find out that it was just kind of like
it's basically just like let's argue a lot, and because I feel like I should be right, and we'll see if you can change my mind. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, moving on to college, you went to school for music but wound up dropping out. So why did you wind up dropping out?
I was working way too much. I was working like 60 hours a week at a casino, and I was working graveyard shift. So between that school and being married, I didn't have time for anything.
Okay. And then did you have any? Because I always thought that you had a major for like, well, I don't know how music degree majors work, but I assumed it was for like a very specific instrument or something.
Yeah, well, I think my major was called woodwind performance. So my major would have been in playing saxophone, and then I would have wanted to be with a minor in composition would have been my goal.
Okay, and then so what you would have wound up just like what joining what's the word? An orchestra or something with your degree?
No,
or?
I wanted to do music on my own. It's like a side thing. I didn't want to be like part of like an orchestra or some shit.
Okay. So
real quick, in case there's a stickler, saxophones aren't an orchestra. Also, I would be like as part of a wind ensemble or something. In case.
I don't much about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Music, so yeah.
Just in case some stickler calls me. Yeah, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So are your parents still visiting or?
No, they're gone.
Yeah. So you've spoken about, debating with your mom like all the time. And very, very rarely you mention that you have siblings. But I feel like I've never heard you talk about them in depth. Why is that?
I don't know them very well. They all live pretty far away.
Mm-hmm. So then you would say like your relationship with your siblings is pretty weak or surface level?
Very, very weak. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So this is something you've cleared the air out pretty well on, but I felt like, this was worth bringing up again. It might make its way into the essay. You've spoken out about one of your friends committing suicide in the past. He's someone who came to you, and the advice you gave him was something that people find pretty controversial. Do you ever regret what you said?
What do you think the advice I gave him was?
Well, you said that, like, you didn't outright say, like, you know, don't do it. You know, like you kind of gave him an on the fence, like, look, it's your life, it's your decision, that sort of
Okay,
thing.
let me be very clear about this because this shit
Mhm.
gets memed into fucking eternity. So let me
Yeah.
be like very clear on this. So initially, when he contacted me and he said that he felt like he wanted to kill himself, I said it was the dumbest thing in the world and they absolutely shouldn't. All of the conversations that we had revolved around me giving him reasons why he shouldn't kill himself. That I thought he was a really intelligent dude. That even though he was kind of like fucking his life up, well, he wasn't fucking his life up, but his big problem was that he had basically been hit for dealing weed. He sold to an undercover and he had nothing in his life. He didn't like go to school. He still lived with his mom. He couldn't drive a car or whatever. But I told him that like despite that, like he could figure shit out. I would help him with the fine or whatever, and that, you know, like he shouldn't kill himself. Like there's tons of shit. When now I phrased this in different ways in videos depending on how deep I want to get into it. But like because I know like I think in one video I might have said something along the lines of like, well, I mean, if you want to do it, like go for it. But that wasn't my conversation with him. You know,
Right,
like, I don't
okay.
have a log of the text, but it's not like he messaged me. He's like, you know, dude, like I feel like I want to kill myself, and I'm like, LOL, fucking do it, dude. Like that wasn't that wasn't the conversation. But the internal struggle and something that to this day I still don't know the correct answer to. Actually, I think I've lied to. I don't know if I lied to myself or just to stream in the past, or maybe I hadn't thought about it. I'd say like, oh, well, now I would feel way different. But I actually don't know the correct answer to this. If you have a friend that's feeling suicidal and you think they're going to kill themselves, like, do you have the right to contact a third party to make them stop? Or is that like a violation of their autonomy and a violation of the trust of you? I don't know what the right answer to that is. I know arguments in both sides, but I'm not really super confident in any of them. So I just don't know. I'm not too sure what the correct answer is there. But that's kind of like that's my thing. I didn't tell him like, yeah, dude, like go for it or some like dumb shit like that, because some people have this impression that I literally like made him kill himself or some stupid shit. Yeah. Okay,
So maybe the video I saw was totally out of context, but yeah, it was pretty much you saying something along those lines. Like you didn't directly say it, but like
wait,
you implied.
This wasn't a Naked 8 video, was it?
No, I don't think so. No, it was like one of your videos.
Okay, yeah. But because I kind of like meme on stream, and it's possible. I don't know what I would have said at any particular point in time. Like I could have said something that would sound like it, but that this is like the actual like in terms of like what happened. Yeah, it wasn't telling him to go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you said too, I think you raise an interesting position that, you know, like, is it a violation of his bodily autonomy? You know, it's his personal decision. I think a lot of people definitely take that out of context and blow that up into something it absolutely isn't. And I think that's kind of where like the confusion came from.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So,
I mean, and I've like a very, very dark sense of humor. But even from like a selfish personal perspective, he was the guy that I played games with the most. Like, so I mean, like even from like a selfish perspective, like I wouldn't want him to kill himself. Absolutely not, because he was like the guy. He was the guy that got me into poker. Every Friday, I would drive up to his house and shit ass fucking Malvern. It's like an hour away. He's the one that I was driving with when I got that like 135 mile an hour speeding ticket or whatever. Because I drive back and forth like real quick because it's a real boring road. But we used to play poker every single Friday. I'd bring him over for the weekend. We'd play poker, and then when you go home, we'd play games during the weekday. So yeah, no, I mean, like even from a selfish point of view, I wouldn't have wanted to kill himself.
okay, so that's probably like the darkest question that I have.
Okay.
So on to something hopefully a little lighter. Is you've been permanently banned from Twitter despite people who say far worse things remaining on the platform.
What was Cernovich just recently doxing like some people? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I know your position on this, but it's kind of ironic since, you know, like not long before this ban, you spent a lot of time discussing deplatforming people. So has your stance on this evolved at all, or?
Nope. My stance on deplatforming, like very, very, very solidly, very clearly, and a lot of people get real mad at this, but I'll say it again. My stance on deplatforming is I want to get rid of bad faith actors from debate. That's all I want to get rid of. So people that either intentionally misuse data or misrepresent data. Try restarting it.
I did.
Oh fuck. These are the types of people that I want to remove from debate. If you're like an evil, hateful, like white nationalist or Nazi or whatever, anything like that, I don't care about those types of people. They're fine. They can stay. It's just people that engage in like bad use of data or that are so stupid, or people that lie about the numbers and data that they use. Like these are because I don't think they do any positive to anybody. I don't think they help anything. They just like muddy the conversation for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. On to talking about your career. Streaming isn't exactly something you can like straight up study for. Do you think that your music degree or just your general interest in arts has helped you out in your stream at all?
No. Well, I mean, it's given me technically everything in my life has helped me with streaming because it gives me things to talk about and experiences to draw from. So I mean, like in that case, yeah, sure.
Okay. And then aside from video games,
I'm sorry, this is kind of random, but I guess actually, let me double back on that. Actually, I think that anytime you study something like music, I think that this is gonna sound pretty memey, but I think cognitive psych goes a lot into understanding music, but not understanding music, but practice, like optimal ways to practice things and the way that humans learn things. These are things that you have to start to study if you're doing music, because all of music's like learning shit. So I mean, like that kind of stuff kind of like broadened my interest and gave me things to talk about, and it actually helped me when I did StarCraft lessons. I thought that the lessons that I gave on StarCraft were better than most people's, just based on what I knew about how people learned. So yeah.
Yeah. I've actually never personally learned an instrument, but I actually heard that just recently. Like, there's some like famous dude. He said a quote that was like, "If you want your child to succeed, teach them an instrument." Sure. Because as you said, like a lot goes into learning an instrument, and the skills you learn to learn are something you can apply to everything.
To everything in life, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on one sec. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
What are you plugged into? What is this laptop plugged into?
Oh, that might be why. It's connected to the Panorama wireless now.
Try connecting it to the back of that Linksys modem.
Ethernet cord?
Just wherever you're connected to the Panorama, unplug that and plug it into that router.
I swear to God, if I open chat one more time and don't see a single comfy dog, I'm going to
Oh, wait.
die IRL in a video
Connect to
game.
the other wireless and see if that shows up online. Okay?
Oh, duh. I should have thought of that. You're right.
Okay, sorry, go for it.
Okay. I was just googling that quote real quick, but couldn't find it.
Which quote?
The one about the instruments.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But it's not even that important. So, aside from video games and music and streaming, what are some of your other interests?
Fuck, dude. If it's interesting, like, I'm interested in it. Sounds really dumb, but like I don't know. I have tons of interests like across sciences. I think the four big interests I guess I always cite like in a conversation is I really like talking about music, anything related to music. Video games obviously are a massive passion of mine. Sex and everything related to sex is very interesting to me, and politics, like politics/philosophy, are very interesting to me. These are like very fucking broad topics and can encompass a lot of other things, but those are like my four like huge interests, I would say.
I recall last time you played Factorio, you spent some time listening to lectures. Do you ever do that on your free time?
If I can make money doing it on stream, or I should say more accurately, if I can share the experience with other people on stream, I am going to do that. So it's very rare that I'll do something in my free time that I could be streaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, here. This was my favorite question when I was typing it. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Probably still streaming.
So, more specifically, what are some of your more serious career goals?
In remembrance of our good friend Feels.
Sorry, someone's done it. Okay, what are some of my more long-term goals?
Yeah, specifically related to your career.
Well, for the short term, I need to get my merchandising shit going. I've got a thing where I'm talking to a guy organizing some college shit, where I might get to talk to Shapiro. That would be like a dream to do that. But I think extending my political stuff a little bit more would probably be good. It's something that I would like to do more.
Okay. And then how about personal goals? You talk about diet and exercise a lot. Anything in that avenue?
Yeah, once I get down to my target weight, I need to get into working out again more, yeah. And then maybe getting out of this fucking city and state.
Yeah, you've mentioned moving to California a few times. Is that something you're seriously considering? Or?
Yes, very, very, very serious, yeah.
Okay, because like, depending on like the mood you're in when people ask you that, I've seen you say, yeah, guys, I got to get out there. And other times I've seen you say, no, fuck it, I'm just staying here. And
like, as of recently, it's gotten far, far, far more serious, yeah.
Okay. See. So, speaking back to debate, I think I know the answer to this now based on some of your answers so far, but have you ever considered developing a platform specifically related to that?
Probably, like, no. I like having my game stuff tied into it, bigger audience. But maybe in the future, if it ever got, like, massive. Like, if I was the kind of person that had, like, 400... Or, like, if I had, like, 1 million subs or something on YouTube related to gaming and I wanted to do politics, maybe I would. But, like, the crossover right now is so big that it doesn't make sense for me to divide my platforms or whatever.
Well, the reason I asked that is because you spoke a while back about collaborating with Great God X on doing some sort of like so you think you can be a streamer sort of thing.
Oh, I've got like a lot of like little random ideas like that, yeah. But it's usually too much work for me to care to follow up on. But
okay, so yeah, is that just never happening?
Probably not. I've got like 1 million random ideas like that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking forward to that. That actually sounded like a good idea.
Oh yeah, I mean it definitely is, but maybe someone else will do.
Yeah. Okay, so it was speaking about Great God X. You made a lot of like wise networking decisions especially like recently. While other people on Twitch kind of get hung up on this idea of what like leeching is, you found yourself on podcasts with streamers like 10 times your size. Is this something you consciously plan on, or do you just kind of like find yourself fumbling into these opportunities?
Most of it happens pretty organically. One of the things that I'm really critical on when I have personal talks with people and when I get into political conversations with people is this concept of like kind of first principles. I have everything in my life. I don't want to say I have my whole life figured out, but I have things figured out to a very, very fundamental level. Like if you ask me like, what is your opinion on immigration, or what do you think a person should do in life? Like I can answer these questions down to very fundamental levels. And I've noticed that that's something that most people cannot do. They're not even close to being able to do that. So when I run into things where people talk about like streaming, like or leeching, like what does it be like to leech or whatever? Like this is a ridiculous concept to me. Like everything you do as a streamer is public, regardless of whether you want it to be or not. Like it's all like PR. Like anything you do is going to have some impact of how it's going to impact how people view you. Everything you do is to some extent public because of the nature of what we do. So like this idea that like leeching is somehow some empirical wrong or bad thing is like hilariously fucking naive to me. And I've never heard anybody with an intelligent, well thought out like position actually talk about why it's a bad thing to network in that way. It's usually just like, oh well, it's bad. Well, why?
Yeah.
Because it's bad. Like, okay, this is stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm really thankful
sorry,
that like I'm really thankful you like put it that way, because that was gonna be my follow-up question. It's like I find it really, really weird that like the term leeching is kind of caught on with networking, because it's like, of course I'm gonna network if I'm a Twitch streamer. Like that can only help me, and it can only help the other person generally.
Sure.
Like
and like yeah, there might be some legitimate cases of like leeching. Like I would say leeching is something where there's clearly no chemistry and somebody's only there because they're trying to like snag viewers and like it's not an enjoyable experience. Like yeah, I'm sure you could find examples, but like that's very, very, very rare compared to the general, which is just like people that are friends and hanging out and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of like what you said. You know, like everything you do is public. So I don't know. I feel like it's weird to me because like it's giving you content at the very least, right? So like even if you have that one bad experience, then just don't do it in the future, you know? So that's kind of the way I see it. Yeah. So in all of your experience with streaming, what has sort of surprised you the most?
I mean, everything is really surprising to me. I mean, the fact that I can do this, especially now when I'm going crazy and I don't know what reality is. I guess I could just talk about all the doubts I have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's insane that like thousands of people will sit here and watch me like talk about like random shit or pay me money to listen to me talk about random shit. Like all of that's pretty crazy. The amount of like intelligent people that I have in my audience is something that I'm really grateful for. That like if I'm having a discussion on something related to anything, I can like bring on like multiple lawyers onto my like Discord to argue about something, or bring on like an actual like doctor and whatnot is really cool. I really enjoy that. The expertise available in my audience is something that's really amazing to me.
Yeah, that was something I was really impressed to see the other day when you brought on like a computer science guy, you brought on a lawyer. Like,
yeah, to argue with that one dude. Holy shit. Yeah.
So then what do you think has been the most difficult aspect of streaming?
Man, I don't really know. My life before this was so shit that it's hard to, I mean, like, I would say that like the public's facing stuff is hard to deal with like haters and shit, but not really. I'm like so narcissistic. I generally just don't give a fuck. Maybe like the FBI at my house stuff is kind of pretty stressful. That was legitimately like pretty stressful stuff. Just dealing with people that are like trying to like destroy my life, I guess, is kind of, but I mean, I also enjoy like the challenge is very interesting as well. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say.
So I think you were speaking like facetiously about this in the past, but I remember you talking about how you wanted to, or you were thinking about kind of like challenging people to finding out info about you so that you could kind of like pen test your information online. Is that something that you like really worked on to like hide or to obfuscate people?
Oh no, if I ever said that, I was probably being facetious, because I think that you can find anything you want about anybody if you like spend a little bit of time doing it. It's really hard to hide any information online. You can find most of my stuff pretty easily, I think.
And yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was gonna say, as you know, like a public figure, like how have you managed to hide anything, you know?
Yeah, no, fuck that.
So if you had the chance to change something about how you approach streaming, what would it be?
I think that I'm kind of like in my early stages of streaming, I was kind of like Mitch Jones, where I was obsessed with like being true and being blunt and being real, and that was probably a mistake. I probably should have developed more connections and networked a lot more earlier on, rather than being obsessed with like this being true or real or some dumb shit or whatever.
What do you think is the most common misconception about streaming, and why?
People have a really hard time understanding how hard it is to deal with people making personally charged insults at you who have no fucking idea who you are. So like going online and reading some people like making these like really weird attacks of your life. Sorry, I have to shield in Lord's Mobile. People like making these really weird like personal attacks of your life. Who have no idea who the fuck you are, and then people like lying and making shit up about your life and whatnot is like really is a very strange feeling. And if you've never experienced that before, it's very hard to empathize with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be hard when other people are telling you have a daughter when you don't.
Yeah, stuff like that, or that you're a pedophile, rapist, or some other whatever crazy fucking shit. Yeah.
So yeah, can you remember a significant moment in your work on streaming? Is there an experience with streaming that stands out in your mind?
I mean, meeting people that I considered like famous when I was like not a streamer, like meeting them once I became a streamer was really cool. So like getting to like literally stay at like Maddox's house and shit with his girlfriend was like very surreal to me. That's probably one of the only people that I like whose content I regularly consumed online growing up. And then getting to debate with people that I would have never ever thought possible, like getting to talk to like Martin Shkreli for 3 hours and whatnot on my stream. All of that is like pretty insane, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you ever have one of those moments where like somebody who you really looked up to or somebody who you thought was like super famous actually came up to you and was like, "Oh my God, you're Destiny"?
No, I mean the closest would have been like when I saw some of the Slayers guys in that hotel room at an MLG, and they were like, "Oh, Destiny, oh, Infesta." That was like pretty crazy because these were like a couple of these guys I'd known since like the Brood War days, and that kind of blew my mind. But otherwise, no, I don't think so.
What do you think are some of the most significant trends in streaming?
I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's a good trend.
Yeah.
But other than that, what do you mean? Like, yeah, what do you mean?
I think it could go both ways. The first way is, like, how do you think it's changing, like as a platform? And the other is, how do you think, or what do you think some of the significant trends are in the ways that people are streaming, like the way they, present themselves or present their channel, that sort of thing?
Fuck, these are really general questions. Can you be a little bit more precise and I can try to answer, or?
I'll try.
Sorry, okay.
So, with Geek and Sundry coming out with a Critical Role, we've kind of started to see the introduction of more prepared and more serious content on Twitch. Do you think that that's a trend that things are going to start moving towards, or do you think people are going to prefer the Trainwrecks podcasts that are just webcams on a black screen?
Oh no, less preparation is actually way preferred from a monetization point of view, because in terms of like online video metrics, one of the most important things for people right now is viewer hours. And the thing is that like as a streamer, it is so fucking easy for you to put out so many hours of content compared to other types of like more traditional prepared content people. So I think that the idea of like having that not prepared but being able to shit out like hours and hours of low effort content, that's still like really important, I think. And it's really hard to do that if you are doing like high production value shit,
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Let's see. Who So I feel like this will be more of an interesting question for you. So I have actually, like, I genuinely sent these to Mr. Mooten as well.
Okay.
And for this question, he said you. So I'm curious, who or what has influenced you the most? Who are your heroes?
This is a really bad one, but I don't really look up to people or have like influential figures or people that I model my stuff after. I guess I would say like early on growing up, I mean, I read like Maddox's website a lot, but I don't really consider like there aren't like people that this sounds like really self-absorbed, but there aren't like people that I like look forward to meeting or like try to like model myself after or like look up to and respect. It's just not the way that I look into things.
Okay. So as far as like streaming goes, you haven't ever like looked at someone's stream and said like, holy crap, I need to copy that?
I don't think I'm not sure, but I don't think I've ever done that.
Okay. So have you ever thought about your plans after streaming?
Nope, not at all. I think streaming is just like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm kind of like growing my stream or rather like the whole everything is like growing. So I don't know. I just don't see like, oh, like fuck, this is gonna end soon. Like I need to do something different, you know. I see it as like something that is hopefully going to continue to grow. If the whole scene were to stagnate, I think I would give that topic a little bit more serious consideration. Yeah. But I don't see the need to do that right now. Yeah.
See, that's interesting to me because I've spoke to like, you know, bigger streamers. I saw Lyric talking about that the other day. He's like, you know, it's still crazy to me. I still believe that, you know, like one day I'm going to wake up and this is all going to be gone.
Yeah, every single big streamer believes that. And actually, Devin behind me will agree with that. For some reason, every big streamer seems to have this idea that streaming is going to die like in 2 weeks. And yeah, it's really weird. I don't know that they're worried that they're going to wake up and like, oh, fuck, like everything's fucked. Like, yeah, but I don't see that happening at all. Like I said, like the whole industry is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm confident that I can adapt to new things as long as I don't get banned before then. So, yeah.
And when I think about it, I find it really weird to hear people like Lyric say that because it's like your audience is so massive, you could find your niche anywhere. You know, like it's so weird to me to think like that someone like Lyric would just disappear.
Yeah.
So a bit deeper than that is what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to be your contribution to the world?
Oh man, dude, I'm killing you. I'm not trying to make your assignment shit, but I really don't give a fuck. I'm very much like my life philosophy is that like I try to maximize my own happiness. Things that make me happy are the most important things to me. And I don't attach much value to things after death. So I don't care about being remembered for something, or I don't care about having a legacy. These are just things that I'm just wholly uninterested in. I want to do things right now that maximize my happiness, and I don't care what people like remember me for, what the ultimate takeaways are. I guess if I were to try to like rephrase your question into something I can answer, like maybe like if somebody could take away one thing from your stream, what would it be? Maybe something like that. For the political stuff, I hope that people come away thinking like, hey, you know, even though I don't agree with you, I really respect your thought process, and I'm going to try to emulate that in the future. Not this like I want to be a liberal or I want to be like a truth seeker, blah blah blah, whatever. But like I like that you like formulate arguments in a consistent, logical fashion, and I'll try to do that more in the future. That would be like my big thing that I hope people take away. But in terms of like remembering me for like a specific thing or whatever, no, I don't care.
So I guess that would lead me kind of to ask, you know, like, what do you want Nathan to think about you when you're gone?
The answer is the exact same thing.
Okay,
I don't care what anybody thinks of me once I'm dead, but in terms of things I want him to take from me, I hope it's like a reasonable thought process. Even if we don't agree on everything, I hope that he grows up like having a reasonable thought process that he can like respect me for. Yeah.
So I think you've already answered this then, but just to double check, are you ever worried that Nathan might, or what he might think of you when he's older, and you know, if he stumbles across your clips?
No, that's on him. I mean, I do my best to make sure that I'm doing a good job with him, but I mean, like otherwise, yeah, fuck him. It's my. Now, like, I don't want him to, like, if I find stuff that, like, ends up getting him in trouble at school, like, with other kids or whatever, I mean, I try to worry about that. I try to think about that so I don't go, like, out of my way to, like, well, I don't know. I mean, fuck, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, like, I can't model my stream off of, like, what might Nathan's classmate think about something. Like, that would be kind of weird. But, I mean, like, I'm not going to, I was going to say, I try to have him on stream too much, but I guess I've had him on stream more recently. Maybe I should back off on that, but, yeah, I don't know.
I think the Dying Light streams are great.
Well, yeah, they're great, but like my issue is that like you don't know how someone in 5th grade is going to react if they see like that just is something that really worries me, and I'm very critical of people that do that, and I don't like. I don't know. I've been doing it more. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll revisit that and think about it more. But
so Nathan has expressed, you know, he actually expressed this on stream, that he wants to be a YouTuber, and you know, considering that you're a pretty successful streamer and a relatively successful YouTuber. Do you have any plans for like helping Nathan set up for his dream when he's older?
I mean, if he's older, maybe, but like I get very hesitant. There are certain ways that people act when their whole life has been streaming, and that's something that I don't want him to do. Like, I think that gathering valuable life experiences that happen outside of that are really important. Yeah. So like, I wouldn't want him to go like straight into like streaming or some shit.
I think that's fair. Yeah. I have a friend whose niece is like 7, and like she allows her niece to have, you know, like Snapchat and Musical.ly and all that stuff, and like to me that makes me like super uncomfortable.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what the correct age is to get them into that kind of stuff. He hasn't expressed any interest in it, so I haven't yet. But I don't know what the correct age is to get them into like social media. I haven't really thought about that much. Although I guess I need to start thinking about that.
Yeah. I mean, it is a relatively new thing. You know, it's not like generations before us have had to tackle this problem.
Yeah.
So let's move on to talking about music a little bit. So as I said, you know, I'm not like super well versed in music, but I do have a few questions related to it. You've explored musical themes that go way over the head of the average viewer and deconstruct songs regularly on stream. Is this something you naturally engage in with every subject, or is it just natural to you with music?
Well, I mean, I try to do it with as much as I can because I like to understand shit. It's really interesting to me. But I mean, I can do it with music more because that's like I literally have an academic background to some level on it, right?
And then I've seen, plenty of people discuss the benefits of music in their lives. In what ways has it improved your life? You said that it helped you express your emotions a lot better. Is that the only way it's helped you?
I mean, I enjoy it, so it's something that's enjoyable to me. But yeah, that's all I guess I could say. Like, music is something that's enjoyable to me. I don't know if it's like objectively helped my life in some way. Like, it hasn't like gotten me a job or anything. I guess it's given me something to talk about on stream. But
I was actually curious. Do you think? So, did you learn how to play piano before you even learned how to like type?
no, I can barely play piano. I only know a little because I have like a good theory background, so I can kind of like bullshit. But I'm not like I would never call myself like a piano player.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, I was kind of curious of whether or not you'd say like learning piano helped you with like maybe your APM in StarCraft.
Oh no, definitely not. My piano APM like is very, very, very bad.
Got it. So your good friend Lily Pichu is deeply interested in music and art, and as a result, she dedicates 40 to 60% of her stream to those two passions. Since music is kind of like a hobby passion to you, have you ever considered doing full-blown music streams?
Not as much. Like, music is like very important to me, but it's more kind of personal rather than like, hey, like I want everybody to see me doing music or whatever. I'm not saying that like it's not personal to people that do that, but for me it's just like kind of like it's more of a personal thing. It's not like something that I do it and I like want to play music with everybody and show everybody on my stream all the music. So like I'll talk about something that's like relevant if it's something relevant to do it, but like in terms of making it like a big part of my stream, I don't know. I just think I'm really good enough to make that interesting for a long period of time. And the more that I play, the more people will actually realize, like, oh, wait, holy shit, he doesn't really know, like, any piano else.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's actually really interesting that you say it, because I was, like, thinking about the recent collaboration stream you did with Albert and Lily. And I think me and a lot of other people were kind of frustrated with how you were kind of, like, memeing about it. You weren't taking it, like, super seriously. Do you think... Was that just you, trying to be entertaining? Or was that because, like you said, you're afraid of, like, if you take it super seriously, people will realize that you're not, like...
Oh, no. I'm sorry. When I say afraid, I don't mean, like, I'm actually scared of people. I don't give a fuck about that. It's more just, like, I would run out of content after a while, like, playing the same stuff over and over again. The music stuff is actually something I'm very, 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 very interested in. But, like, I can't pursue something half seriously. It either has to be, like, all fucking there or not there at all. And, like, I think that playing with Albert or playing with Lily in, like, a certain setting could be, like, very enjoyable. But what we had set up just wasn't formal enough for me, and the way that the instrumentation worked wasn't like it wasn't enough for it to be very serious. But I should have had a conversation with them or have a conversation with them next time. But like the way that I would describe this in a more musical sense for people that are musical was like the setup that we had didn't make much sense because Albert was playing lead always and Lily was playing background always, and then I was playing background always, but me and Lily's parts overlapped too much, and to have that many people like inventing or collaborating with overlapping instruments doesn't really work. This is why for a little bit I wanted to be a little bit more serious with it. I was trying to find a good bass sound, because if I could find like something where I could play a bass line, then I could have that part exclusively to myself. Lily could play like the middle part, and then Albert could do the melody. Something like that would make more sense. But me and Lily's parts had too much overlap to really do anything seriously. So then it was kind of just like, okay, well, let's just have fun kind of experience. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But having something more formally set up where the roles are more established would make things more doable in terms of like a kind of a collaborative improv sense. Yeah.
So yeah, then a final note on that is, do you sort of have like a dream musical collaboration, or do you have any future collaborations planned?
I'll probably bug Albert again for doing something, because now I have another chord progression that I really, really, really want to try experimenting with him for. But otherwise, I don't have like anything specific set up right now.
Okay. So it's two more topics and then we're done.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I was like
oh, no, I'm
really
just
afraid that we weren't going to cover everything.
No,
right,
you're fine.
okay,
You're
cool.
fine. You're fine, dude.
So you had a I actually don't know how long it lasted, but you had a career playing StarCraft. You've mentioned that it was brief. I totally like messed up on this and didn't look this up. How long did that last?
How long is I like a semi-pro StarCraft player, guys? I don't have any idea. I'm not actually sure. Was it like 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years? I'd say like maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 2 or 3 years. Yeah, 3 years max.
Okay. Because the reason I was kind of like unsure is I feel like whenever you talked about it, you made it sound like you were in for like 3 months, made a couple mistakes, and that was it.
Oh no, I did like StarCraft somewhat seriously for quite a while.
Okay. So pro gaming is something that's super misunderstood these days. Having your firsthand experience, what do you think is the biggest misconception with esports today?
That it's just like LOL playing games. Like esports is as serious a commitment as any other athletic endeavor. Like full stop. Like with no qualifications. Esports is as serious a commitment as any other athletic endeavor. I don't want to say maybe more so, but it can be at the exact same level where like you're changing your whole life and you're making big life decisions to like forego college and whatnot at an early age to move to another place to like take something seriously that may or may not pan out. And arguably esports is timed, has such a limited timetable on it compared to other athletic endeavors, right? Whereas like for physical things, because you have like you've got like your physical height as a man, which I think is like your early 20s. You have that, but even though that starts to taper off, you have like you've got like time spent training can still give you an edge, so people can be competitive athletically into their 30s and sometimes even 40s, right? With like I don't know if Mayweather would be a competitive boxer still, but like the Tom Brady's and shit like that. But with esports, like fucking Christ, what the average age of a Dota player I think in the TI was like 23 or 24. Like what we look average age Dota 2 TI player, I think it was like 23 some years old. Like these people are really young.
Yeah.
Hold on, fuck. Yeah, the average age is less than 24 years old. Holy shit. So like people are really 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 young in this shit. So you're on a very limited timetable, and I don't know, like there are very few like pro players that are above like 26, 27, 28. Like that's you're pretty aged out at that point.
I'm actually surprised to hear that even the TI is that young, because like I've always felt like Dota 2 was kind of like the older guys like game.
No.
You know, like I look at League where it's like you have like 16-year-olds, you know, doing this stuff. Whereas Dota, you have guys who, you know, like they're like, oh yeah, you know, I got this like side career that I could like jump into. So
nope.
I guess I was totally wrong.
People are really young in esports.
Yeah.
And also another thing that it makes esports harder than traditional sports is like if you go to college, you never have to think like, okay, do I really want to play basketball? Like, what if nobody's playing basketball in 5 years? You know, like nobody ever thinks about that. Whereas in esports, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get into Overwatch. Like, oh shit, Blizzard just made a big fucking signing, and like this esport is actually not relevant anymore. Like I just wasted my whole life practicing for this esport that nobody plays. Yeah.
You know, I've actually never thought about that. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It's just that's actually a similar mindset for streaming as well, where it's like, oh shit, like I was a pro streamer in this game, and now nobody plays this game anymore, and I just lost all my viewership. Yeah.
Why do you think there is such a massive difference between the way the West handles esports and the way Asia handles it? Because I think it's weird. You know, we take football super seriously. We take basketball, baseball super duper seriously with like support teams and all that in addition to the players. Whereas like when it comes to esports, we have almost none of that. Like some teams are finally kind of getting on board, but for the most part, it seems like pretty absent.
So I've been firm on this for a long time, and I think that like empirically, I think this is starting to be borne out more and more. Esports will catch up when the money is right. The thing is that like when you look at like traditional sports, there's like broad, like why do they have like sports psychologists and all this shit, blah 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 blah. Like they take it so seriously. They've got all this like accompanying infrastructure. That's because in traditional sports, there's fucking money everywhere. You've got like broadcast rights for national, international studios. You've got merchandising. You've got teams, all these independent investors, people that own stadiums. There's like so many different avenues of which actual sports make money. And as esports catches up more and more to that, you're starting to see these types of things bleed in more, where people are taking like health and psych like really seriously. Where some teams have sports psychologists now, where they're like dedicated gaming houses and shit. Like all of this is getting more and more serious. So I think we'll probably reach a level, if we're not there already in some cases, like we'll reach a level where like all of those accessory industries are like being sprouted up and supported financially for sure.
Yeah, I know that like Mylixia did a lot of that before, you know, just outright owning CLG. But yeah, that was definitely something I wanted to explore with him at some point.
Sure.
So I've seen a lot of debate. I feel like I know your answer on this, but I've seen a lot of debate between technical skill, like micro and mechanics, and strategy, the macro and objectives. Do you think either is more important, or are they about the same?
It totally depends on the esport. Like, yeah. Like in an esport, like in League or Dota, strategy and tactics are so fucking important. I would put, it's hard for me to say, but I would put those on like an equal or probably even a greater level than mechanical skill. That having like good game sense and good knowledge of the general game and strategy and flow of the game, that is insanely fucking important. Like the strategy in a MOBA is so important as compared to like say like a video game like StarCraft. Ironically enough, because it's called real-time strategy, and again like StarCraft, the strategy is nowhere near as important as your mechanical execution. You can have cool strategies and do kind of interesting things, but the mechanical execution is so much more important in a game of StarCraft than anything related to strategy.
So speaking of StarCraft, you're a Zerg main. Sorry. Bless you. What attracted you to Zerg, your preferred race?
I don't have a good answer for this, unfortunately. I just played Zerg in StarCraft Brood War for no real reason. It's just the race that I played, and so then I went on to play it in StarCraft 2.
I think that's just as good a reason as any.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's not going to be like a real...
Yeah, I mean, you could have said like, oh, I like that they're bugs, I would have been fine with either way.
Nope.
Yeah, so you were pretty vocal about the downfall of StarCraft in the face of League. And there's an infamous clip of you, making DJ Wheat explode.
Yeah.
Lately...
Oh my god, yeah, sorry, God.
Lately, you've been pretty vocal about the downfall of League in the face of Fortnite.
Nowhere near as much about League. I don't know as much about League to have anywhere near a strong opinion about that game. I can only speak like this is kind of what it feels like. And yeah, I mean, I feel pretty strong about that. But there are people way more like knowledgeable about the scene than me that are making similar or I guess like more weighty claims than I do. So yeah, I would say that like Riot seems like they've been pretty slow to respond to some problems, and they're probably fucking it up pretty bad right now. But I think Riot's aware of that, so.
Yeah, because especially as of late, they've been having a lot of problems, both with numbers dropping due to Fortnite, being really behind in their tech.
Oh, yeah, the tech stuff is totally fucking inexcusable. It's my biggest critique of them. It's embarrassing. Second.
I was just gonna say, and then the like big kind of like social issues that they've been having, like that the whole like PAX debacle and stuff. Then you said it's not nearly as bad for League as it was for StarCraft.
No. I don't know if that's true or not. What I say is I don't know nearly as much about League as I did about StarCraft, so I can't I can't make statements anywhere near as strongly.
So then, in your opinion, like what do you think is the perfect recipe for like the downfall of a game?
Basically, when the developer isn't being responsive enough. That's like the most important thing. Is if the developer stops being responsive enough to what's going on in the scene.
Okay. Are we on like a time limit or anything?
No, why? What's up?
Because the last section I want to talk about, and you've been really vocal about this lately, is drugs. And I just had a few basic questions, but they're probably not even going to make it into my paper.
Go for it.
I'm someone who's dealt with like anxiety pretty much my whole life.
Okay.
And you claim that you never experienced panic attacks until you tried shrooms.
Yeah.
Shrooms. You tell your viewers not to try them, but do you think the experience was worth the trade-off?
I'll know that in 3 or 4 years if I'm fucking crazy or not. I don't know. I can't answer that right now. I really can't. I'm still in the middle of it all.
So yeah, I think it's kind of weird the way that we as a country kind of view drugs. With the whole war on drugs thing being a pretty not good thing.
Yeah, so I mean it's a way for us to get black people, but yeah, what about it?
Yeah. I guess, what do you think about the way America handles drugs, especially compared to like other countries? Do you think there's anyone we should be modeling ourselves after?
I don't know enough about how other countries run their drug, printed marijuana and whatnot. Like, the United States might actually be leading the Western world in terms of like decriminalizing drugs, in terms of like countries that matter. Like I don't like Amsterdam. They do their shit, but I don't know what their drug policy is across like the whole. Is Amsterdam? Is like all of the Netherlands the same as like Amsterdam in terms of drug policy and whatnot? Or is it like a city specific thing or?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean I can't speak for like all of. I mean like maybe, but no one gives a fuck about the Netherlands. But like yeah, I mean like there's yeah, drugs are treated very, very poorly in the Western world, I would say. Especially things like marijuana and shit probably shouldn't be as treated as harshly as they are, or treated harshly at all. Yeah.
And then the last thing on that topic is you made it seem as though your interest in drugs resides, like primarily in the experience. Are there any particular experiences you want to try out related or unrelated to drugs?
I can't really speak to that right now. Like I said, like ask me in like 4 or 5 years, and I'll know, because I'm a little worried right now that I'm actually already going fucking crazy. But I'll know more about that in a few years. Okay, sorry.
You kind of like offhandedly mentioned. You said you were like seeing somebody after.
I'm not. We're not talking about this right now. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
All right. I found the soft spot. No.
No. Maybe,
so, okay.
sorry,
Yeah. I get you. So the last thing that I'll go into are these are just kind of like advanced streaming related stuff. Is I've always, like I said, like I tend to look at other streamers, and I kind of like think like, oh, this is what's working for them. This is what's working for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to kind of like make note of that and like see like how much that permeates. So these, I'm sorry. I feel like I've looked at you, and you're somebody who, if I were to ever get into streaming, I would love to kind of like model my setup after. Okay. And you've never, as far as I know, you've never put out any like videos like explaining like, oh, here's how I do this. Here's like why I do it this way, or that sort of thing. So these are kind of questions related to that area. So if you don't want to name names, you don't have to. But who do you think is good at streaming that you wouldn't expect? And
Tyler One, I think it's one of the best, if not the best, streamers on Twitch. And I think that on first glance, he comes off as being like a huge, like fucking ragey retard. But like, I think I legitimately think Tyler One is one of the best. Like, if I had to make like a top 3 streamers on Twitch, actually, let me rephrase. You could argue that Tyler is the best streamer on Twitch. Tyler One might be the best streamer on Twitch. You can argue that. He's definitely in a top 3 list, though, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was gonna follow that up with who is good at this that you think shouldn't be?
That's kind of a mean question to.
Yeah. Like I said, you
this
don't have
guy's
to
so dumb. I don't know. Like, yeah. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would put anyone in that top. I think that most people that are streamers and are successful probably should be there. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, see, I don't like mean to be mean, but like as a viewer, I feel like when I watch Trainwreck's podcast, like it's entertaining because of the personality. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if I saw anybody who like wasn't Trainwreck's just throwing up cameras on like a black screen, I probably would just close out immediately.
Sure, but I mean, like Trainwreck's has like his own personality of things that people.
Yeah, for sure.
People expect certain things from it, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
So what I'm just saying is though, like that's kind of how I might answer that question. Is it's like I would look at Trainwreck's stream, but I love Trainwreck's as a streamer. I watch him every now and then. So like that's kind of what I was going for. But yeah, if you don't want to answer that, that's cool.
Yeah, sure.
So who are some of the most controversial or unorthodox streamers in your eyes, and why?
Controversial or unorthodox streamers?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're on Twitch, you're controversial, you're probably getting banned. So, I mean, like, obviously, of all the streamers, Ice Poseidon goes there, right? Like, obviously. I don't really know if there are controversial streamers on Twitch. I mean, I guess you could say I kind of am, but I mean, that's only if you care about like politically related shit and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know.
It might be easier to speak to like unorthodox. Is there anybody who's like has a really strange like setup or like shtick that still pulls things off that you're aware of? Because I know you don't really watch streams a lot, but
maybe booby questions like. Or I'm not booby questions, sorry, like maybe booby streamers, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like I have a good answer to this. Like, I don't know of any like crazy, unorthodox, like insane streamers. Like everybody,
Well, because like a lot of people in chat are mentioning Doc.
I mean, is he like?
I forget the guy's
Is he like
name.
Crazy, like controversial or whatever though? Or?
No, he's unorthodox. I would say.
Yeah, for sure. To play a character that
got a whole act. Yeah. There was a guy who was kind of blowing up on livestream fails a while back. He was the guy who like turns himself into a dog. He was kind of big for a little bit.
Are you talking about Wolf San?
I don't remember his name.
Okay, never mind. Because there's a guy that Hassan sold his stream to, his Twitch stream to, who did like some weird shit. But
I never heard about that.
Yeah, no, that guy was not successful.
Yeah, no, Manny.
The one Manny or whatever.
Manny something, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know about that guy.
Yeah, like I mean, it was really entertaining like the first time, but then like he disappeared. People are mentioning Kit Boga. He's the guy who calls like scammers.
Sure. Yeah. That guy does a very unique thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think are some of the most impressive lesser known streamers?
Most impressive lesser known stream. I wouldn't know the answer to this. Sorry. I can't. I don't watch streams, so like I would never know.
Well, I mean, I feel like you pretty regularly host some of them.
I just know people that I follow. No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on here. What are all the good? We've got Scara. You're a princess. I mean, like, what do you want me to say? Oh, girl with yellow spoon. Follow her stream. Okay, she has a really cool stream. Wreckful, he's got a cool stream. It's Hafu. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna be like the kind of person that discovers small streamers or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, though I don't think I would call.
Oh, Devin, he's got a small, cool stream. There you go.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Wow.
There you go. Okay.
So have you ever tried to help someone get into streaming, and have they been able to replicate your result?
Have I ever known someone who's gotten into streaming who can duplicate my result? Wait, say that again.
Have you ever tried to help someone get into streaming, and have they replicated your results?
Not really. No, I don't think so.
So when Mr. Mooten started streaming, you didn't like push him or anything? That was just kind of like his own choice, and you helped him out, or? Yeah,
no, I mean I helped him a little bit. No, that was his own choice. He actually tried to get into it several times before, so I didn't think he was gonna. He never really took it like super seriously in the past, so I didn't think he would this time, but he did. So yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Because I've seen a lot of people like Soda Poppin' with Nick, Wreckful with one of his friends.
Oh no, I don't have I don't have my own Greek God or anything yet. No. Well, unless Mr. Moon counts as that, I guess. But
yeah, one day.
Maybe.
What do you think are some of the biggest mistakes and myths that you see in streaming? What are the biggest wastes of time?
If you're a new streamer, having a schedule is probably really important. And then spending like a ton of fucking time like min-maxing the fuck out of certain stuff, like all of your graphics and all of that is probably a big waste of time and really dumb if you're not like paying attention to your content. Like the content is the most important thing, and then taking care of accessory stuff is important as well. But I think that focusing on having good content is easily like the far most important thing you can do as like a new streamer.
And then I feel like you might not necessarily know the answer to this since you've kind of just done it on your own. But do you have any? Well, no, you probably have good answers for this. Do you have any favorite resources related to streaming? If people wanted to explore it, like what would you suggest that they look into?
Fuck, I have no idea. I can't really say. Sorry.
Okay. Like there's no like helper programs or anything that you want to shout out?
I mean, like I use OBS to stream. That's a pretty important program, right?
Yeah.
But that's all I can say. I don't know.
There was you kind of talked about it briefly on stream. Do you have a preference between Stream Elements and Streamlabs?
I use Streamlabs right now. I was going to switch to Stream Elements because of shady stuff I'd heard about Streamlabs, but now I've heard shady stuff about Stream Elements. I don't know. I don't heavily recommend anything. I use Streamlabs right now though, so yeah. Okay.
Having made your own site, d.gg, have you ever considered making your own like by the streamer for the streamer sort of platform?
Yeah, I'm working on that. Don't worry. The launch date is sometime in January. It'll be either this year or next year or the next year after that. Who knows?
Interesting. Yeah, speaking to d.gg, is that something that any streamer can get into, or were you sort of grandfathered in with that?
Grandfathered in with what?
So I know that you're not allowed to like stream on multiple platforms at once. Like you can't stream on YouTube.
Oh, I don't have a platform that I stream on Destiny.gg. That's just a Twitch embed, so I'm not.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like they're totally cool with that though. Like you having your subs and like, chat. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I always wondered like why that wasn't something that caught on.
People are lazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Let me do a quick scroll through. I think we covered everything I wanted to ask. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for me. So anything you want to add or clarify on anything we talked about?
No, I mean, I think we're pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think you covered everything like pretty well. Somebody in chat mentioned that you probably gave me a lot more than I needed, and I agree. But just in case, like, would you be cool with me sending you like follow-up stuff on?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So lastly, I was gonna do like some meme questions, but this is the closest I'll get. What's your favorite emote on Twitch?
I just like the Kappa,
Just the Kappa?
I like Kappa, yeah.
Twitch chat was really hoping it was yeah.
Fuck.
But
no.
Thank you so much for your time, Destiny. I will get that paper to you soon, so you can check it out. But yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, cool. All right, good job, guys.
Are you off?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
how the fuck do I make this green science potion?
It's pretty complicated, isn't it?
Yes.
Figure it out, Devin.
Does it need transport belt and inserters?
Yep. So you need to make a setup that makes transport belt and then inserts it into that, and then you need to make a setup that makes inserters and puts them into that.
Fuck me. Like, the entire time you're on the phone, you're just passively building the fucking Babylonian Empire over here. Like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Oh, no,
And then
it's just another furnace roast. So now we have, look, we get copper plates and iron plates.
Sure, so that should be stuff that builds inserters and shit, yeah?
What do you mean?
Well, an inserter
inserter,
takes
you're gonna
copper
need
plates
iron
and iron
plates?
plates.
No, look, you need iron plates,
Yeah.
you need iron gear wheels, and electronic circuits.
Oh, fuck me.
Try to do red ones first. They're much easier, okay?
Okay.
Patty. Okay, so basically, I just noticed that,
Iron gear wheel, copper plate.
she messaged something to Devin about BJJ.
Yeah.
And so it's really weird. I guess she still watches my stream.
Hi, Steven. This is
She just
Clem
sent me a totally
Fandango.
innocuous, like,
Can you
kinda nice
hear me?
message, and
Yeah.
I didn't know who she was. And Steven was like, wee woo. So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, Clem Fandango. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna use restroom real quick, and I got one more like shorter interview thing.
Copper plate, iron gear wheel, 2x iron plate.
I'll be back 1 sec.
Fuck me. Okay. Yeah. Wait, why did I say it? I can't stop. Why should I stop? He's so well dressed, right? It's insane. It makes a big difference, actually. I have no regrets. Dude, this game is complicated as all get out. I can't even change this assembly machine now that I put it down. Oh wait, is it feeding? Okay. It needs iron plates, which we have over there. And it needs gear wheels, right? Yeah. Copper plates and gear wheels. So this thing's gonna make gear wheels. I'll never stop, don't worry. How you doing today, Twitch chat? I'm gonna up my style of clothes now that I have to do it now.
Why?
You know what?
Because I am?
No.
Oh, never mind.
No.
Sorry.
You know what?
I just thought you were intimidated, you know? I'm pretty
Well,
fashionable now. Look at
well,
this.
I
I got
am.
the jeans.
Yeah,
I got
dude,
shit.
you're
It's looking okay.
All to get up, walk 15 feet downstairs, and sit down on your computer for 10 hours every day.
There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Do you still invest in crypto? Nobody invests in crypto anymore. it's not.
Investments. How did Facebook do today?
Ugh.
It's working. It's trying hard.
It's
I can
gone.
appreciate that, Facebook. How is is Bitcoin ever coming back? Oh, yeah, you can do it. Why am I thinking it'll go to all-time highs again? Ooh, I don't like that graph. Wait, what was I thinking? Why did I buy into this shit?
What?
What was I thinking?
What are you talking about?
Why did I buy Bitcoin? I don't remember now. I don't know how the fuck I bought this. The fuck was I thinking? What was I thinking? No, never mind. Oh, because these aren't... Nah, we're okay. It's coming back.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Some dumb shit will happen and dumbass will start investing again.
Yep.
Okay, before I talk to this next person real quick. Okay, so I've got copper over here, iron over here. And then it's going to be, I need steel and plastic. Steel, plastic, and batteries. Wait, shit, I need batteries. Steel, plastic, batteries. Then we've got green chips, red chips. I like belting blue chips separately. I know that triggers some people. Blue chips. Okay. Oh, and gear wheels. I'll belt gear wheels. Okay, so
I'm building gear wheels.
really?
Maybe.
Okay.
It needs... It's doing it. Yeah, I actually am.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Where does this output to? This assembler. Hey,
What?
where the does this output to?
It doesn't output anywhere. It's inside the thing. You need to use an inserter to grab it out if you want to take it out.
Of course.
An extra of a hammerhead shark. Is this going to be a Britney joke? Oh, never mind. Okay, so we've got, blue chips, red chips, green chips.
I don't even know what the fuck you're doing. I'm trying to make science potions.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just thinking to myself, sorry. Blue chips, red chips, green chips. I've got gear wheels. Wait, what am I doing?
Well, what are you trying to do?
I'm gonna set up a main bus. At first I thought, like, since it's your first factory, we'll spaghetti it, but that's actually gonna make me want to kill myself, so fuck that. Okay, hold on. We've got copper and iron. Copper, iron. Oh, this should be steel. Okay, hold on. Copper, iron, steel.
It's doing it.
Copper, iron, steel.
It's making the gears.
Copper, iron, steel. Batteries. Plastic.
I can do this. Then this
That's
takes...
plastic. Then green chips, red chips, blue chips. There it is. That's what we want. Okay. Do I want to make do I want to belt engines separately? Cogs? Yeah, I've got that right here. No, I don't. Why do I keep forgetting something? I need to label these. Fuck. Okay, fuck. Copper, iron, steel, cogwheels, and then batteries, plastic, batteries and plastic, then green chips, red chips, blue chips. That's everything.
What are you making?
A place for all of our ore to go.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. Did you see that?
No, wait, do it again. I just heard the noise.
It's so good. Oh shit.
My machine's working science potions. I did it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now you just need to output it and belt it to the science facilities and make them automatically insert. So, like, put them on a little belt, run them to the science facilities, and make them insert.
It's not going to make enough of them.
Well, what do you mean? Then make more.
Oh, no. The science facilities are hella far away.
Well, move them. You can move them up.
Can I build more?
Yeah.
Why would I not do
Okay, I'm doing one more school interview thing. Sorry, hold on 1 second. This one's shorter, I think. Hello?
Hello?
What's up, buddy?
Wait, can you hear me?
Yep. Your microphone is
Okay.
real shit, but I can hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay, so basically the assignment was to like interview somebody you look up to
Ooh, big mistake, but okay.
career-wise and like morals, personality. I don't know. It was like I honestly didn't think you would reply. But yeah, so it's career exploration and yeah, okay. The first question is what element of your lifestyle is most important to you? As in, like,
Wait a second. This is for college, right? You're not like 12 or something, right?
I'm in high school.
Okay. All right. Okay. What was the what was the first question? Sorry.
What element of your lifestyle is most important to you?
For me personally, my personal most important thing is happiness. So like personal satisfaction is the most important thing to me. Well, I shouldn't say personal satisfaction. I should just say like being happy is like really important to me. Sometimes that comes in the form of fulfillment or doing things I enjoy or having friends or whatever. Yeah.
Why is that important to you?
Fucking Christ, I don't know. That's a really fucking deep question. Why is it important for me to be happy? I don't know. I'm fulfilling like what I consider to be my most important basic like biological and philosophical need. Every day I wake up, being happy is like a pretty central part of my existence. So doing things to maximize that happiness is pretty important to me.
Does your career affect your happiness or?
Yeah, of course. I think everybody's job does. It's like a really huge part of your life. You're spending arguably one of the largest chunks of time in your life working. So yeah, I think it's a pretty important part.
Are there any elements of your lifestyle you wish you could change or get greater satisfaction from than you do now?
I mean, obviously, I always want things to be better. It'd be nice, I guess, to make more money or to have more viewers or to be funnier or any of that. But I mean, there's not anything major I would change right now. I'm pretty satisfied with how my life is at the moment in terms of career.
Fair enough. What caused you to choose your present career?
I mean, my present career is pretty unique, but I grew up kind of like telling a lot of jokes and being like a certain kind of person. So I think that this kind of like evolved naturally out of that. This became technologically possible, and then I just kind of started getting into it.
Did you choose your career based on happiness?
Yeah. I guess like anything that I choose to do in life are generally going to be things that make me happy. I don't know if I would say that like I choose it like specifically, like I didn't like what makes me happy and then I chose this. This is just kind of something that naturally kind of evolved over time. And then, yeah, but I mean, if it didn't make me happy, I wouldn't do it unless I absolutely needed to survive.
Okay, how many times have you changed your career?
I mean,
If at all.
Career, I don't think I've ever changed my career. I mean, I worked in like food service before this. So, I mean, if that counts as a career, then I guess I've changed my career one time.
Okay, are you interested in changing careers in the future?
Maybe, but right now this like optimizes, like this is so good for so many different reasons. Like I make a lot of money doing this. I really enjoy doing this. I'm pretty good at doing this. And I think I serve like a greater purpose to society if I ever care about shit like that. So I really enjoy what I do right now. I'd have a hard time imagining me wanting to do something else, but it's possible.
What gives you satisfaction with your career?
So I like to speak about certain topics, and my platform gives me the ability to do that, to explore topics that are interesting to me. I also enjoy playing video games, and I have the ability to do that here, which is something that I like. I also like feeling like there are people that care about what I say. I like the feeling that when I speak, different people are invested in my words, and obviously this platform gives me the ability to have people be invested in what I say. So,
what would you say, or do you think you have any responsibilities or duties in your job?
like, yeah, but I don't know how deep that question is supposed to be. Can you be a little bit more specific?
What what do you hold yourself to? Like, what do you think you are responsible for?
I mean,
in
I
your
believe
career?
that as a public figure, I think I have a responsibility to public discourse to some extent. So I try to make sure that I'm disseminating information accurately, and in a way that pushes forward values that I guess I believe in.
What kind of problems do you deal with?
I deal with all sorts of fucking problems. Do you want to be more specific, or should I just give like random broad ones, or?
In your like doing your job, like how you got here, like what are the biggest problems you have to deal with?
I mean, like people like trying to destroy your life publicly are probably some of the biggest problems. Maybe you could broadly say dealing with anti-fans or whatever. Those are pretty big problems, I would say, with what I do.
If anything, what could you have done in the past to make your work more satisfying today?
To make my work more satisfying? I don't know if I can, if there even is an answer to that question. I'm pretty satisfied with my work now. I don't know if there's something I could have changed in the past to make my work more satisfying today.
To make you happier with your job, career, what you're doing?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with everything. I don't know if there's something. I mean, there are like a couple of like career changes, like maybe taking networking more seriously or something, or things I would have done in the past. But
are there any academic skills you feel you use in your career?
yeah, sure. I mean, if wait, hold on. Wow, thanks, buddy. I don't know why you didn't leave a message with that, but I appreciate it. In terms of academic skills, I mean, anything that I would have learned in probably like any English class. Like things like public speaking, like formulating ideas, speaking in kind of like coherent manners. It's really easy to kind of ramble and not really say anything, but I think I do a pretty good job at being pretty concise with my speech. I mean, fuck, depending on like what we're talking about, like anything that I've learned like in math classes or like data science classes or whatever are pretty important, right? We do a lot of like data analysis and whatnot on stream, critical thinking skills on stream. Depending on like the class you've taken, a lot of these can come from different kind of academic backgrounds or classes you take in school, I guess.
Are there any courses you wish you took that you think would have helped you with your career?
100%. I wish I would have studied philosophy in high school. I think it's probably one of the most important courses any individual can take, and I really wish I would have taken one.
The last question is, do you have any advice for me as I choose and prepare for a career of, like, what you do, your sort?
Wait, why? Do you want to be a streamer?
If I was going to prepare and choose to be a streamer, do you have any advice?
Fuck. I mean,
Just don't.
Don't. I mean, you have to be prepared to deal with a lot of hate publicly. Like, if you're kind of a person that naturally kind of like goes against the grain, then maybe you're more suited towards it. But if you're the kind of person that gets like really stressed out or has trouble dealing with criticism from a large amount of people that may or may not be fucking retarded, it's really hard to get into streaming, because that's going to be something that fucks with your head a lot. Wait, do you like record these like verbatim, or can I phrase this in like a more school-friendly way? Or...
Go for it. I mean, I'm just gonna show it to my class and stuff.
Okay, let me try this again. If public approval is something that's very important to your character and very important to your personal happiness, getting into anything that puts you in the public eye is very difficult, because there are going to be a lot of people that will be attacking you and trying to tear you down constantly, whether you're in a good mood or a bad mood, or you're feeling great or you're at your worst. And dealing with problems like that can be very difficult for some people, especially if you're more naturally shy or introvert. So if this is something that you have great difficulties with, it's something you're going to want to work on before getting into this industry, dealing with public criticism or public hatred.
Okay.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you for answering my questions and
Yeah, wait, what grade are you in?
I'm a freshman.
Why the fuck do you watch my stream? What do I do in stream that's like entertaining to freshmen? Are there like lots of freshman high schoolers that watch my stream?
No, I never heard anybody else talk about you. I just really like your stream.
I'm really curious. I'm just curious, like, where did you hear about it, or how did you get into it? Like, what was the discovery path?
I started watching you play League of Legends on Twitch, and then I found your YouTube and started watching your debates and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I was just curious. Okay. Well, good luck with your project, buddy.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.